Hello, and welcome to Oracle Hour. We have a special solar eclipse edition of Oracle Hour today at 11 a.m. Pacific. I know we normally meet at 5, but I thought I would change things up today and be in the energy with you while it's happening in the world. My name is Sabrina Rising. I'm a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and it's my honor to channel spirit on your behalf. I am the Oracle, so if you have a question for the Oracle, you can please put it in the chat. We're streaming live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So if you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, please join us at Sabrina Rising on YouTube and put your question in the chat so we can answer it on a first come, first serve basis. Okay, so it's lovely to see you all. We've got some people joining us already. Good morning, Vicky. Hello, Aditi. Thank you for joining me live. Today, I really obviously want to go into talking about this partial solar eclipse in Virgo and how this is affecting us. Now, we are coming out of, we've had two eclipses in this month. So we had a lunar eclipse, and now partial solar eclipse. And so this has been a very intense time during the collective, in your everyday life. Everybody is feeling this, even if, we all have Virgo somewhere in our chart, but regardless of whether or not those placements are significant, everybody is feeling the shift of the seasons, the shift in the energy. And so it can be a very tumultuous time. I know that I felt a lot of heaviness in September. September is a month of completion as well. It's a 9 number. So it's a month of really a lot of death and transformation. And what I mean by that is letting go of something. Okay. And this is Virgo is asking us to do that. It's asking us to sort of look over the fine details of our lives. What's working, what's not working, what are some of the little habits, the little things that I have pending, things that may be accumulating or things that I've been putting off that I need to attend to. Okay. And we all have them. And we're all pretty much aware of, oh, I should really, go out and clean my garage, or open all my unopened mail, or pay attention to the organization of my home. Or perhaps there's a habit that you have that is affecting your physical health that you already know you need to do something about. Now is the time to do that. Okay, so Virgo is asking us to pay attention to our physical health, to pay attention to our mental health and our spiritual health. Of course, I, as the Oracle, want you to pay attention to these things all the time. It's just that during this specific partial solar eclipse energy, we're really highlighting these areas. Like some of the things that have been pending in your life up until this point become intolerable. Like all of a sudden, it's not okay to be doing this thing anymore. We've gotten very clear on how we want to work, how we want to, operate on a day-to-day basis, how we want to express ourselves, what we're taking with us in this next phase of our evolution. Okay. And I love to look at our human experience as an evolutionary path. So during this particular phase, we're being asked to really declutter our homes, our minds, our bodies, and really adopt new rituals, new habits that will optimize our health, our wellness, our spirituality. So, some tips for the particular Virgo eclipse, partial eclipse energy is to take a look at some of the things that you're doing to maintain your physical well-being. Okay, so what are some habits? What is some discipline that you can bring in that will really help you move out of this funk that you've been in? For so many of us, and I've been feeling this myself. It's like, this isn't working anymore. I feel inspired to take on a new routine, or do something different for my body. So take a moment to reflect on what that could be for you. What is causing you some health issues or some health concerns that you could implement some healthier changes today that will eventually, that will help you in the long run. And this is the time to adopt these new habits. You're being so supported by your higher self, by your spirit guides, and by the energy of the collective to bring in these shifts. Okay, so today is a really beautiful time to have a ritual, especially during the solar eclipse, and really think about all the things that you're letting go of, the messiness, the lack of integrity with yourself, the just really fine tuning the things that work for you, what brings you joy and what doesn't, what is kind of holding you back, those little annoyances in your everyday life. It's really time to sort of, bless them and release them, let them go with compassion and grace. That's the other thing that the Virgo moon really or partial eclipse in Virgo really brings to light is perfectionism versus discernment. Okay, so it's very important to have discernment, which is the ability to see something free of any kind of emotional charge. I'm not judging it, I'm not upset about it, I'm not anything, I don't have any feelings about it. I'm just able to see it with neutrality from a place of equanimity and peace. Perfectionism, on the other hand, is when we obsess, right? So Virgo is asking us to be discerning and not obsessive, not perfectionistic about the things that we need to let go of, or the things that, the new habits that we're taking on. We want to be able to create a new way of operating from a foundation of integrity, which means it's sustainable over time. It's not being driven by perfectionism. It's not being, which is essentially a form of fear. It's not being driven by fear. It's not being driven by a need to control outcomes, or be harshly critical with ourselves and other people. Okay, so for as much as we need to take an honest, rigorous look at what's working in our lives, and what needs to go and what we want to bring in, we also want to be very compassionate and soft and gentle with ourselves. Give yourself room to be human. Give yourself grace. Notice the thing that you're giving up. Perhaps it's something that you eat, or something you consume, or something that you do on a regular basis that is not good for you. Just take a moment to honor the experience of having this in your life, to acknowledge what need you were trying to meet with this strategy, so that you can meet yourself with softness and compassion, and then just be able to let it go and say, this is no longer the strategy that I'm choosing. I'm going to choose a different strategy, one that's healthier, one that's more constructive for my well-being, one that's going to align me with my higher purpose. Okay, this is such an important time for those of us, especially if you've been lost or kind of stuck with, how do I want to express myself in the world? What's the kind of work that I want to do? What really brings me joy? This is a beautiful time to really kind of zero in on what your self-expression is, and what's really important to you, and how you want to communicate in the world. Okay, so this is the time when we set up the structures that we need to, in order to make our self-expression, sustainable, in order to find something that really works for us. Okay, so we are redefining how we work in the world. Okay, so and again, meet yourself with softness and compassion, because the strategies that you've implemented up until now have served a purpose. They've gotten you to a certain point, right? And now that you've reached this point of awareness, there's again this opportunity for discernment to say, okay, I can see how I got here, what I did to get here, and now I see where I want to go, and I'm choosing, a different way of getting there, or I'm going to take these few habits with me, and the rest I'm going to leave behind. Okay, so again, lots of aha moments, lots of points of realization during this phase, when we all of a sudden it just clicks. So today, if you're doing a specific ritual around this partial solar eclipse energy, really just focus in on how you envision your life, how you want to express yourself in your work, the things that you want to take with you going forward. How do you want your life to look like from now on? Whether it's at home or at work or in your relationships, really visualize what that is, and write down your intentions. And as you perhaps take a few moments to meditate, perhaps you close your eyes and go inward, like I like to do, and just surrender everything that's not that to the universe. Ask Spirit to co-create with you and say, show me what needs to go. What am I giving up now, with love, with compassion, with full gratitude? What seeds am I planting today that I know are going to bear fruit at some point in the future, with no attachments to any outcome? Just being ready to move into this next phase of your evolution, co-creating with Spirit and asking for signs. So staying open to receiving messages. They can be audible, they can be visual, they can be little nudges, little sensations that you feel, or perhaps little clues that are dropped on your path as you move throughout the day. This often happens, especially when we do our rituals. We get messages throughout the day. So stay open to that. Okay, so I like to bring out a journal and write down my intentions of what it is that I'm envisioning for myself, for my life, what I already know intuitively that I need that needs to go, or that I'd like to improve upon in order to fully embody this new version of myself. And then I surrender it to Spirit, asking for guidance and asking for support in co-creating this reality together, so that I feel supported in my process. Okay. This is so important, especially if you're, a person who lives alone, or a person who doesn't feel like you have community, or you have a lot of people that you can connect with on a regular basis. First of all, you always have us. You'll always have Oracle Hour. We're here twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays. So please feel free to share with this community what you've done in your ritual, or what you plan to do for your ritual, or what you've recognized within yourself needs to go, or what you're calling in, and how we can support you in doing it. Okay. We've had some wonderful members have some really tremendous breakthroughs over the last several months, and it's been really brilliant to celebrate their wins with them and to support them in the tough spots. Okay. So this is what community is for. And I encourage every single one of us to lean into that. Okay. So again, bringing in our ritual for today, just getting very clear on what it is that we envision for ourselves, what it is that we need help and support with letting go of, that we perhaps want to shift or change or improve upon, and then just surrendering that and asking for support in the co-creation. Perhaps there'll be signs or symbols throughout the day, or you receive little soul nudges and guidance as you move forward in your life. And then let us know in the comments what has shifted for you, as a result of this ritual, as a result of your commitment and your dedication to really using this partial solar eclipse energy to transform your life. Of course, this is my wish for you and for all beings everywhere. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for hanging in with me, you guys. Hi, Amy. Hi, Crystal. Good to see you. Beautiful. Okay, so all right, Barbara, let's take the first question. I think, okay, Aditi, and then we'll go to Vicky. Okay. So Aditi says, I had a question. Will I pass in SQL statistics accounts? Oh, gotcha. Okay, Aditi. So again, this is Virgo energy, right? The Virgo is like, kind of perfectionistic and wants to do everything properly. And I remember you from Wednesday night, I believe you came by Oracle Hour and asked me questions about your test scores. So I'm going to answer this question in two ways. Okay. I'm going to give you my psychic hit because I know that's what you want. And I'm also going to give you the spiritual guidance. So in terms of how you can develop the confidence and the inner peace to do your exams, to pass your exams with equanimity and trust that whatever that you did, that the outcome that happens is exactly what you need to either move forward or revisit the path that you're on. Okay, so it's never about the actual test scores. It's really about, do we want the thing that we say we want? Are we prepared to do well, to be successful in life? So there's some deeper things going on here. It's always deeper than the circumstances. Okay, it's always about the energy underneath it. So there's a real need to pass, to feel like you're moving forward. That you're doing things that will be approved of. Okay, and this is normal as you're taking exams. I want to say, there's one of these, and of course, I can't tell you specifically which one it is, but there's one of these that I feel that you're going to have to take over. Okay. And before you get discouraged, I want to say that the reason this is happening, it's always a gift. Okay. So it's not because you're not good enough or you didn't prepare enough, but there is a lesson in learning how to give yourself grace and compassion and not putting too much pressure on yourself. Okay. So that's the opportunity that Spirit's presenting to you in this exam phase that you're in, is learning to give yourself grace, learning to not be so hard on yourself. And the subject that you need to take over, it's the one that you like the least, which makes sense, right? So when we are forcing ourselves to take, to study things that don't bring us joy, that we don't feel emotionally connected to, it can feel very arduous. It can feel like a chore. It can feel like an obligation, and there's no joy in that. Okay. So we can't experience joy when we feel obligated. It's impossible to have these two exist at the same time. So I want you to sort of just examine, what am I doing here that really brings me joy and that doesn't, what lights me up and what doesn't. Okay, so this is what you're being asked to revisit. Is there some of these things that you're studying that you don't actually love? Okay, so that's the opportunity here. So I invite you to be honest with yourself about what that subject matter is. Again, you've asked me for three different things, and the one of these is something that you'll have to take over. I think it's statistics. That's just that's my psychic hit on it. But I would like you to come back and let me know how that unfolds for you, and really take inventory of how much you're studying right now that you don't actually enjoy studying. Okay, and that's the lesson here. It's not about you being hard on yourself, or pushing yourself harder, is what I'm trying to say. It's really about you being honest with what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Okay, and that's how I want to answer this question. Aditi, thank you for stopping by. Beautiful. Okay, let's go to Vicky here. Go ahead. Okay. Hi, Vicky. Vicky says, hello, Sabrina. I reviewed your two videos on relationship with the masculine for both father and mother. Thank you. Okay, good. I did take notes. I also have signed up for an October breast cancer support group. Beautiful. I love that, Vicky. That's amazing. I'm really celebrating you and your remission journey. And I think the support group is excellent. Excellent. I was wondering if you had any questions about the mother healing, how to heal the mother wound or how to heal the father wound. I love that you brought this in, because this is very much like, the energy that we're in today. It's kind of like this big, massive overview of like, what are some of the limiting beliefs? What are some of the criticisms that I am echoing on an unconscious level from my parents? Right. So this is, again, the Virgo can be the harsh critic. So we want to look at how we criticize ourselves, how we diminish ourselves. And of course, the dialogue we have with ourselves is a reflection of how we were spoken to in our childhood. So the relationship with mother, relationship with father, or whoever the caregivers were in your early childhood environment is going to be the way you learn to relate to yourself. Okay. So that dynamic, that dialogue, the good and the bad and everything in between is what we internalize and how we learn to relate to ourselves. So I love that you're doing that work. If there's a question about those videos, please let me know. I would love to answer. Otherwise, I support you in your healing process. Thank you for joining us today. Good. Okay, next question. I think we have Crystal. Here we go. Hi, Crystal. Crystal says, hi, Sabrina. Can I have a general reading, please? Okay. Yes, you can have a general reading. I will have a sip of water and I will give you a general reading. So, okay, so two things. There's the physical, the health and the physical aspect I want to address first, and then there's relationships. Okay, so those are the two themes that pop up as I tune into your energy, Crystal. And of course, please feel free to validate. Anybody who wants live readings and has questions, make sure that you communicate with me in the chat. Okay, so yeah. So as far as the physical is concerned, there's a real need for grounding right now for you in your energy. I can feel like you've been going through a lot of different emotions, maybe some second guessing around a particular relationship that's brought up some emotional stuff. Maybe some ruminating thoughts or anxiety or trouble sleeping. There's some restlessness on the emotional plane. Okay, so I want you to focus on grounding and spending time in your own energy, and really honoring your body and making sure that your body is releasing stuck energy. And how you do that is through breath work, through daily meditation, through spiritual practice. It's actually really good for you to spend time in nature. I don't know if you like to swim, Crystal, but I'm getting a visual of you of like jumping in a lake or, going swimming and just kind of being in nature and, letting yourself harmonize with with nature itself. And so letting your body sort of acclimate to its natural rhythms. This is going to help you ground and be more present in your body. And you'll receive the clarity that you need about what to do about the certain relationship that you're in. It feels like a male energy. It's kind of coming in and out of your life. And it's something that you need to make a decision about. Okay. So, and I think you already know how to set this boundary and that this is something that's on its way out in your life. But we need to, I want you to develop the confidence and the discernment. Again, there's that word, which is the Virgo energy, that discernment to really be fully ready to do that. Okay, be fully ready to do that. So again, Crystal, I feel like you're going off into your own, you need time to sort of veer off in your own solitude, your own, energy, kind of unplug from your everyday environment to go spend time in nature and be just very clear about the things that are moving forward and what you want to create moving forward. And there's this one specific male energy, probably more than a few relationships, but the one specific male energy that is not coming with you in this next phase of your evolution. So there's a decision point here about one of your relationships that you need to make, which I encourage you to do. It actually feels like this male energy is dominant, like kind of an authority figure. He either plays a dominant role in your life, or it can be someone you work with or work for, that kind of thing. It's a dominant energy that you need to draw proper boundaries with, and start to resource yourself. And what I mean by that is find the balance with your own masculine energy. Okay. So really, when we develop our strength, especially as women, when we develop our own strong masculine presence, we tend to lean less on the men in our lives, or to feel less, I want to say, heavily influenced, or even less reliant on this particular energy for validation or for security. Okay. So again, you have all of the tools that you need. It's just a matter of going and spending some time in your own energy and grounding and really trusting, this vision you have for the life you want to create, and being willing to do that on your own. Okay. This is a time of you learning how to stand on your own 2 feet. Okay, Crystal. And if you want to validate any of that, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can always leave a comment at the end of the video, or come back and let me know how this is unfolded for you. Okay, Crystal. Thanks for stopping by. Beautiful. Okay, who's next? Amy. Amy says, sorry. Amy says, so glad caught you at the beginning. I'm just here to listen and appreciate. Oh, thank you, Amy, for being here. Donna Marie says, hi, Sabrina. Just popping on to say hello. Is there a quick message for me? And thank you for stopping by. Say hello, Donna Marie. Let's see. Message. Donna Marie. I see you outdoor. I don't know if you're planning on spending time outdoors today. This is like, again, same vision of you being outside and being around a lot of people. So either a marketplace or, yeah, a fair. Maybe today's one of your fair events. So being around a lot of people. What I want to say to you specifically for today is to really be mindful of, being susceptible of other people's opinions. Okay. So again, as you're out in the world interacting with people, really be vigilant of, I don't want to say protecting your own energy, because I don't believe in protection as a thing. I don't believe in that there's anything ever really to be afraid of, but I want you to be aware of what you're allowing into your life today specifically, and and just being able to hold that boundary. Okay. So again, this is about developing that inner stillness, inner peace, and inner strength, and just being rooted in your values. So if someone comes along and makes a comment or a criticism or something, you're not really so deeply wounded by it. Okay. I want to say this specific message is coming through for you today as you expose yourself perhaps to clients or people, or, as you're out in the world interacting with other people. If you feel like there might be a part of you that feels like, oh, I wonder what she meant by that, or wonder what she said by that, or what she was trying to say when she said that kind of thing. Notice some oversensitivity around other people's, perceptions or commentary and so on. And just always bringing yourself back to that point of center, really having confidence in who you are, making sure that you are reassuring yourself and staying grounded in your own convictions. Okay. So that's what I want to say. The other thing I want to say too, is if you are out in the world and interacting with other people, I feel like you're going to have a more positive impact than you think you are. Okay. So again, I want you to develop this self-confidence, where you really trust that you are doing good work, that you are being of service, and that you are really helping people in your interactions. Okay. So there's a lot of second guessing going on right now. So I want you to really just trust that you are, sometimes we think, oh, well, I wonder if I was okay and what I did or what I said. And actually, when we receive feedback, we realize we were actually very helpful, or, that conversation really meant a lot to me. Okay. So your impact is greater than what you know. And I want you to know that. Spirit wants you to hear that, and really just remind yourself of that in those moments today when you're interacting with people. Okay. That's my message for you, Donna. And if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. She says, you're welcome. She says, yes, going to a sound bath tonight outside. Oh, beautiful. Okay, thank you. And my friend who is doing the sound bath is a very strong personality. Okay, well, that makes sense. So you might be susceptible to her opinions, or maybe there's something about her that you feel sensitive to. Yeah, just stay focused and centered in who you are and your own, reassurance of your, what it is that you're doing. It's important. Spirit doesn't want you to get rattled. Okay, so that's my message for you. And use the sound bath to sort of shield yourself with positive energy, light, and use the intention of the sound bath to really activate your own inner knowing and your own self-confidence, so that you feel reassured in your own energy. Okay, that's my message for you. I will. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Any other questions for today? I know we changed the time and I didn't make an announcement. So thank you for joining me spontaneously live on Sunday morning. Autumn says, hey, Sabrina, I'm excited to catch you today. I'm excited too. I'm wondering if you can give me any insight into my relationship with B. Okay, Autumn, I would love for you to stay on and validate. So that will make the conversation go smoother. And of course, I would love to give you insight. So let's see what I have for you. Okay, so I feel like you're taking some time right now to sort of think about, like how to make your relationship better. It feels like you're both willing to do that. So, whoever this B person is, I wonder, if you've had some conversations about how things have been sort of like either flat or boring or not quite what you need them to be. It hasn't been fully been meeting your needs, or there's something that you want to improve upon. Of course, this is the era of improvement. So this doesn't, surprise me that it's about your relationship and it's about how to improve upon your relationship. So I think that there is a willingness, it feels like, from both of you are mutually willing to work on this. And I feel like it's kind of going to be touch and go for a little bit, but don't get discouraged, because I actually believe that this person deeply cares about you, and I feel that, and I feel like with enough patience and enough space, if you sort of let go of your attachment and just allow things to unfold organically. Again, we can't force people to give us something they're not ready to give, or to feel something that they don't feel. What we can do is invite them in to spend time with us, to grow with us, to develop with us, and see how that unfolds for both of you. Okay, so B is not quite where you are, and yet still willing to work on things and develop things and continue on this journey with you in terms of your relationship. Okay, so just give him a little time. Feels like I want you to give him a little time, a little compassion, again, some room and some grace to grow with you. And I feel like this will work out best for both of you. In fact, Autumn says, I'm so glad. Sometimes I feel like he's a little hot and cold. Yeah. And I don't know if he cares. Okay, good. So this is what I feel too. So he's not quite where you are, as I just said. So, but at the same time, he does care, and he doesn't fully know how to show it. It would be good for the two of you to do some kind of like couples workshop or class or something fun, nothing heavy, like nothing like therapy specifically, but something light and fun, where you can sort of get to know each other in a different, I want to say, through a different perspective. Okay, so Yeah, like a couples class or workshop or something like that would be a lot of fun for you. If you keep it playful, it's engaging for him. I think that B sort of shrinks when he feels like a lot of emotions are being demanded of him, or you're being emotionally demanding of him, rather. So he starts to shrink a little bit because he makes him uncomfortable, and he doesn't know how to be present with it, and he can't fully meet you there, not because he doesn't care, but because he doesn't have the tools to engage with you on that level. Okay, so there's some growing for him to do, but his heart's in the right place, and I do see this person being committed to you, and I see the relationship working out. It's just a matter of you, you know, softening your grip a little bit and just trusting and having more confidence in yourself. Okay. So, again, when we attract personal relationships, when we're in personal relationships in our lives, the romantic partnership is such a container for reflection, for where do I need to love myself more? Where do I need to, develop my own self confidence? How can I meet my own needs so I'm less reliant on my partner? This takes a lot of pressure off the relationship and allows the relationship to breathe. Now there's space between the two of you where he can support you in your journey and getting your needs met without um without without him feeling like he's responsible for your pain or responsible for your process. Okay. So this is so important to take the pressure off of him and just be in this organic unfolding. He is hot and cold, but that's only because he doesn't fully know how to be in this yet. Okay. He can't fully relax yet. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. You can stop and rewind and come back and watch this portion of the show for some helpful tips. Again, focusing on your own relationship with self. And the more you love yourself and the more you fall in love with your own energy and spending time with you, the more attractive, the more magnetic you become. Okay. So I hope this was helpful, Autumn. Good. Crystal says validation. Yes, I have been losing weight, just in and out my mental, but it's over. Okay, good. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Crystal, for validating. The physical part is really what I want you to pay attention to for sure. And watch for this male relationship as well. Okay, Crystal. Autumn says, I can see that I've had a lot going on in my life and maybe too much at times. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. So, again, Jennifer Fino says, how can we ask a question on your platform? Here you are asking a question. You can ask on Facebook, apparently, but you can also join us on YouTube. So if you come to @Sabrina Rising, you could put questions in the YouTube chat and watch us live on YouTube, or you can just continue watching live on Facebook. So if you have a question, Jennifer, we'd love to see it here. You can post it in the chat and join us. Jennifer says, yay. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. What's your question today, love? Adam says, yes, thank you. Good. Beautiful. Vicky says, self-doubt and not being wanted. Is this a question that you have? Vicky, hello, Oracle community, breast cancer. Okay, so these are the 2 points perhaps you're working on right now. So I'll just say something. No, okay. Did you have a specific question, Vicky? Otherwise, I'll just talk about those 2 topics. No, okay. Jennifer Fino says, what can you tap into about seriously considering becoming a facilitator? Okay. Okay, Jennifer. So, you have a lot of creative energy. Okay. So there's a lot of creativity, sensitivity. All creatives are super intuitive. Every artist is a channel. Every artist, every, creative person, artistic person, musical person is a channel. You're channeling, your gifts when you're making art, when you're playing music, when you're singing. This is a way of channeling energy, universal intelligence, and the inspiration that you feel, right? So you already have these tools in place, feels like, where you just are able to tune into something beautiful and create this result. Okay, so facilitating inner work for humans is a very similar process, where you are channeling, what it feels good, um what is required, and not just what feels good. Let me say that a different way. You're channeling the truth of what this person needs to hear in order to express love, in order to express, whatever it is this person is struggling with, that they need from you in order to be able to move forward. Okay, so it's very much, using your intuition in a different way. So you're still using your intuition, but you're using it for the benefit of this person, being able to offer this person guidance and so on. So, I think it's great that you're considering it. What I would say is that there is a need for deeper inner work, in terms of, like, healing a lot of your own wounds, so that you're not coming from that filter when you're holding space for other people. Of course, as you may know, and if you don't, then I encourage you to go to my website and have a look. I have a facilitator training certification program. And in the facilitator program, we talk about how to hold clean space. And that means space that has integrity, that is truth-based, that is pure and channeled, that's not necessarily coming from your own judgments or perceptions of what happened to you in your life. And this is something that we're not even conscious of it. We might hold these judgments unconsciously. So it's really important for you to be able to hold space where you can hear all of it from a place of unconditional love and compassion, without victim perpetrator perception of instances. Because, of course, as facilitators of inner work, we hear all kinds of, tragic stories that can be very sad at times. Okay, so spirit wants you to develop your equanimity, which is your ability to hear, to be, to see, to experience all of it without judgment. Okay, so without, and without inserting too much of your own self need for validation, because, again, it's not about us as facilitators. Okay, so we're just channels. We're here to provide access to truth and wisdom and guidance, and it's not personal work. Okay, so there is a phase of development that requires you to make this impersonal for you, and all of the other stuff, the intuition, the channeling, the creativity, the resourcefulness, the natural empathy, the magnetism, the capacity to guide and nurture, those raw qualities are there. What's required is the fine tuning and of the being able to really listen deeply and hold clear, clean space. Okay, so this is what I want to channel for you. And this is where I believe that you're at, based on the energy that I'm feeling. So, and again, if you feel it in your soul, like, these are soul nudges, right? So if your heart is calling to you and saying, I want to do this now, I want to create this, I want to build this thing, or I want to go in this direction, that's your soul tapping you on the shoulder and saying, it's time to develop this aspect of you. This is what you came here to share. This is what you came here to experience. And of course, I want you to tie your art into it and have it be something that you sort of co-create and weave together. So all the things that you do that bring you joy, you can weave together to make a very beautiful, very unique offering that's an expression of your soul's blueprint, how you came to serve. Okay, and I'm, as a facilitator, and and as a trainer of other facilitators, I deeply believe that we're all here to awaken our gifts and to share them with other people. How you do that is not actually relevant. What's important is that you do it. What's important is how you feel when you're sharing with others. Okay. And if there's more questions around, like, how to build a business around this and how to get clients and all that stuff, of course, I teach those courses as well. So you can always find me on my website and we can talk about training. But I encourage you to really listen to your own calling. And it's a lot easier than you think it is. You can start by even just getting some feedback in your local community. There's probably friends that you give advice to, or that are already coming to you for guidance, right? So you can hear their echoes, and allow those to encourage you to pursue this path if you feel very passionate about it. Okay. Jennifer says, I am so absolutely grateful for you. Thank you. I would need that support. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm grateful for you too. I'd be happy to offer it to you. Let's just give Jennifer the link to my website. If you have it, this is, oh, yeah, perfect. That's the facilitator certification. You can have a look at the programs that are there. Of course, these programs are very tailored to your specific needs. So not everybody, for some of us, we've done inner work before and we just want to learn how to hold space for other people. For some of us, we see ourselves as facilitators, but we really need some more fine tuning in our own personal practice and our own relationship to self. Again, relationship to self is the relationship you're going to project to everyone around you. So, including clients, right? So it's really important that this relationship with self is rooted in integrity, unconditional love, self-compassion, deep empathy, and discipline, all of the things, right, that we need in order to maintain optimal wellness, spiritual alertness, emotional, sanity, and physical wellness as well. Okay, so you're essentially the embodiment of a person who can guide and lead, not from perfectionism. Obviously, no one is perfect, but we're all works in progress. But you just need to be a little bit further along than the person that you're guiding. Okay, so that way we can sort of walk our talk and guide others through what's working for us. Okay, so this is essential when you're facilitating. So have a look at that, Jennifer, and please feel free to either reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Facebook, or you can reach out to me here on YouTube, and we can go from there. Okay, thank you for being here today. Good to see you. Okay, all right. Who else do we have here? Autumn. Autumn says, I understand if you can't, but if I can ask a second question, I'm wondering if you get any messages for me from my mom. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so typically, and I didn't say this at the beginning, so I'll say it again. Typically, I reserve mediumship for one-to-one or mediumship circles because we can see each other on screen, and it's just more powerful and more potent for me to engage in that way. But sometimes I receive messages. Um, so let me see what I have for you, Autumn. Hmm. So the first word I hear is move. So, and again, movement, move. Like, I want to say, I don't know if you've been thinking about moving or contemplating a move, but I think your mom is encouraging this. Okay. So she's supporting your decision to either move or relocate. I feel like it's something that you've been contemplating for some time. I think it'd be good for you, to have your own space and to be somewhere, um, yeah, to be somewhere that's more where it feels like there's more room for you, more room for your own energy, for your own expression, for your own things. Um, yeah, and the other thing I want to say too is, um, I don't know if you have and again, this is, I need you to validate. So yeah, Autumn says, yes, I'm trying to buy a house right now. Okay, good. So she's saying that this move is going to happen. Okay, so she's confirming that, and she's saying that it's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for you to go to this new location and to start fresh and to be in this environment. So she's helping this move along, and I'm seeing white and gray feathers. Sometimes our loved ones drop little hints, in the throughout the day or on our path. I'm seeing these kind of like white and gray feathers. So look for those as you're kind of walking on the ground, like in the pathway that you typically walk. I feel like there's a particular path that you walk on. She's there with you when you take your walks. These are just kind of little hints and signs that she's there with you, and guiding you every step of the way. This move is happening, and it's usually, I think the whole span of this is like, honestly, like 30 to 90 days. This is all done and you're settled into. um I have a feather I picked up in the yard. It's white and gray. Yay! Beautiful. That's your mama. She's there for you. She's there with you. And she's just reminding you that, that she's, you know, um present in your decision making, and that she's supporting this move. It's very good for you. The other thing I want to say too is she wants you to make peace with somebody. I don't know if there's a brother or a brother energy in your life, like it feels like a male energy that uh, it's almost like she wants you to make peace with this person. Okay. So, again, it feels male. And like it's been a difficult relationship, and she would love for you to sort of move on from this, to find peace from this, maybe even a way of reconnecting with this person, but in a much healthier way. Okay, so she's holding space for that as well for you. She's sort of guiding that path. And so, this feels like it's got some deeper layers to it. So I would love to hold space for you in a private session so that we can kind of go into a little bit more of what her messages are. But she's around, and she is really proud of you and all the moves that you've made. And you're so independent. You're so like focused. You've really yeah, you've really taken a lot of her values, and a lot of the things that she's instilled in you, and she's very proud of how you're living your life. Okay, so this is something that I want to acknowledge, and she wants to make sure that I acknowledge it for you today, so that you really hear it, and you know that she's proud of you, and you know that she's is supporting your choices. Okay, but there is this relationship somehow that seems, it's a male energy that she feels like, it's older male too, so it feels like she wants you to make peace with this particular relationship. Okay, and she's encouraging that, so that you don't take this with you going forward. Okay, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a wounding around the energy of the masculine. Okay, so again, I would love to go deeper in a reading with you. The link to book a reading with me, Barbara has it, and she's going to put it up on the screen here. It's Readings with Sabrina. Let me see. There we go. Perfect. There it is. Thank you, Barbara. All right, Autumn, that's for you. If you want to come and book a one-to-one, I'd love to have you in this space, and we can go deeper and talk to your mom some more and get to the bottom of this relationship that she would like you to heal from. Okay. Good. Thank you for joining us today live. Beautiful. Okay. Amy's place of peace. Amy, can you talk about routine morning meditation that helps clear the fog, please? Only if there are no more questions. There's always more questions, but this is a beautiful question. This is a beautiful suggestion. So I will, I will definitely talk about this. What is Autumn saying? Thank you so much. That's amazing. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, come and book a reading with me so we can go deeper. Okay, Amy. So, okay, so here's what I want to say to you, Crystal. No, Crystal, Amy. Morning meditation is good in general, but specifically to you, I want to say that a nighttime ritual before you go to bed, just as you're drifting off to sleep, is actually going to help you clear the fog. So there's two ways I want to answer your question. Of course, a morning ritual is beautiful when you come out of bed in the morning, before you reach for your phone, before you engage with your job, or you engage your identity in the everyday minutia of whatever it is that we're dealing with as humans. It's important. What I'd like to do is some deep diaphragmatic breathing. So breathing into the diaphragm, exhale, let the belly fall naturally, just putting my hand on my heart, just having a few moments with spirit and my own energy, and setting an intention for the day. I find that guided meditations work really well in the morning too, especially when I'm not clear. If it's a fog thing that you're grappling with, a guided meditation is wonderful, because you can just listen and disengage your own thinking process and just allow yourself to be guided. I have a few guided meditations here on my channel that you could try. Awakening your inner guide is a beautiful one. It's a bit longer meditation, but that's the one I would recommend for you. But specific to you in general, Amy, I actually think, and this is what I feel in spirit, that it would be very good for you to do subliminal programming at night before you go to bed. And I'll tell you what's different about this, okay? Because there's meditation and then there's meditation. So there's meditating, then there's several different ways. In fact, there's a free 7-day meditation course on my YouTube channel. for those of you that are interested in different meditation styles. The meditation to sort of clear your mind and set an intention for the day and really tune into spirit and ask for guidance and ask for direction and ask for signs and be more tuned into what your soul needs, what your body is craving in the morning is beautiful. Okay. And then there is the subliminal programming, which I'm recommending, which is you listening either to a guided practice or affirmations that are recorded on a loop while you're in theta wave brain state. Okay, so this is so important. Theta wave brain state is can be likened to a state of hypnosis. It is the state that's most ideal to be in to reprogram your subconscious mind or to make new suggestions to it. And your subconscious mind is most susceptible to the sound of your own voice. So if you could record affirmations, of course, you can listen to a guided practice and that's okay. But there's something more powerful about it being your own voice and listening to that just before you drift off to sleep. Theta is just before we drift into delta, and there's no filter present during this time, right? So these suggestions are really kind of going in. And if you do this with continued practice, like 30 days straight every night, you'll notice a big shift in your circumstances. Okay. So you can put whatever you want. You can make whatever suggestion you want to your subconscious mind. It doesn't have, a reasoning component. So be very clear in your commands. It's like, programming software, literally the software of your operating system. Your beliefs are your operating system. So imagine, saying, I fall asleep easily and deeply and wake up refreshed every morning. Amy's place says, I love that. I need more time to unwind at night. Okay, good. So that's what I was feeling specifically for you. So I want to give you the general answer to your question, because you asked a beautiful question about the morning practice, which is I encourage everybody to have. But for you specifically, I think if you started doing subconscious programming, the listening to affirmations at night just before you drift off to sleep, that would be really powerful for you. So and the reason you're asking about the brain fog is because there's a lack of clarity. Like, should I do this or should I do that? Or, like maybe there's a lot of things you want to do and you don't know which one to choose because you're full of ideas, or this sounds good or that sounds good, and you can be easily distracted. So again, this partial solar eclipse, this is what I talked about in the beginning, especially in Virgo, is really igniting the need for specificity and details and being like clear and practical in our approach to achieving the thing that we deeply desire, the thing that we really want to accomplish. So what are some of the things we can fine tune on? You need to fine tune your beliefs about what's possible in your life and gain the clarity about being very specific. For you, the energy I'm feeling is very specific about what you want to create and focusing in on that. So the subconscious programming at night is really going to be helpful to you. And it's beautiful to listen to your own voice. Amy's place says, I'm definitely going to do the meditation playlist. Thank you so much. I love listening to you. It calms me. Yes, my clarity is lacking a bit. Oh, beautiful. Amy, thank you for being here. And I love that I take that with all my heart. I receive it with all my heart. It's an honor to hear that. And I'm happy to have you part of my community. So again, the lack of clarity is just you kind of not being sure. Again, doubt is a form of fear. This is not just for Amy, it's for anybody listening. If you're experiencing self-doubt, it's really just a form of fear. It's you kind of, not fully being ready to commit to something. Again, it's a form of fear. Okay. So what are we afraid of? We're afraid of failure. We're afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of lack. We're afraid of the pain of experiencing whatever it is that we might believe about ourselves unconsciously. I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't have what it takes. So we want to protect ourselves from feeling these uncomfortable emotions. And so the mind and the ego, the otherwise known as the identity, can be very sophisticated. It can create very sophisticated strategies. It can, make us procrastinate or make us second guess our decisions, or it can force us to put things off or, focus to sabotage in some way. Okay. So it's very important that when you have when you have clarity, and again, getting clarity is about creating inner stillness, letting go of all the value judgments, all of the morality, and allowing spirit, allowing your higher self, to me, these are synonyms of each other, communicate to you, what's next for you. And it doesn't have to be the whole staircase. Just look at the next step. What's the next step in front of me? Oftentimes we get overwhelmed because we imagine the entire staircase. Like, how am I going to get to the top of this? Just focus on what is the next right step for you today. And again, this is for everybody, and allowing your spirit to communicate to you. So feeling your own soul urges. What do I want to lead into today? What feels good in my body? What feels like it's going to be most supportive for me? So choosing that, and then seeing where that takes you, and allowing one thing to unfold into the next, into the next, into the next, and allowing your path to unfold organically in that way is going to be very helpful for you. Okay. So again, doubt is just a form of fear, and fear is all we're here to transcend. This is the human experiment distilled in one phrase. I came here to learn and unlearn fear so I can experience the truth of who I am, and be fully self-expressed in unconditional love and compassion for self and others. Okay. Thank you for being here, Amy. Hi, Rhonda. Oh, you made it. Nice to see you. Hello, Sabrina. This is absolutely incredible. I picked up my phone to do something, and here we are. I'm curious as to what do I do next on my transformational journey. I love that you're here, Rhonda. I changed the time today because of the solar eclipse energy, and I wanted to be present with the community during this time. So, what's next on your transformational journey? Let me see. The spirit brought you here for a reason today. It's the first time I picked this up for you, but I feel like there is some traveling for you. A small trip that you need to take. It's not, doesn't feel like overseas. It doesn't feel far away. Um, it feels drivable. Okay. So I just put it that way. It feels drivable, but it feels like almost like connecting to your roots, connecting to some places that are culturally significant, ancestrally significant for you. As you continue, there's been so much of your process has been about moving forward and moving deeper into love and looking at what's next and what's coming up on the horizon. And, right today, I feel like we're being guided to say, like, for you to have a full circle moment in your transformational journey, which is so important. Every once in a while, as we are engaged in personal development, it's good to either go home or go back to some parts of our lives where we have memories or soul tribe or family and so on, and just kind of spend time and revisit some aspect of ourselves so we can see how far we've come. This is, again, very important, full circle for you. Like, just, it's important for you to take time to see how far you've come, which is like a point of integration and self-appreciation and self-honoring. Okay. So this is, I don't know if it is something you've been contemplating, but it feels like it's right there. There's like some kind of trip. It can be a trip to some place that you used to go to, or perhaps like where you went to school or something like that, like something that's going to bring you back to a point in your life where you can honor how far you've come, and experience some of the I will remain open for a road trip. Okay, good, beautiful. Yeah, there's something around this that's important, and I feel like it's got family involved, perhaps one of your sisters. Yeah, there's some kind of relational thing that's bringing you back to a place where you need to go and really just appreciate how far you've come. And also changing the energy, I think, for you right now would be very good. Okay, so just changing things up a little bit, getting out of your environment and moving into a different energy field. This is important for us as well. Sometimes, I work from home and I practice at home and I meditate at home. And so I spend a lot of time sort of in my spiritual, cave, if you will. And when I go out into the world, or I take trips to different places, I can feel activated in different ways. It can bring new energy into my life, and it can bring new possibilities and creativity, and sometimes an opportunity to revisit some aspect of myself as I'm communicating for you, Rhonda. So this is what's in store for you. This is what's coming. Okay. So don't be surprised if there's an invitation or an opportunity to do this shortly. Okay. And I love that you're here today. And so take some time to really journal today in your practice, again, honoring the solar eclipse energy of just acknowledging yourself for how far you've come, and a little fine tuning. What am I fine tuning going forward? What is it that I really want to zero in on, and maybe that's a standard for how you want to be treated in relationships. Okay. And these two are connected. Revisiting some area and raising your standard, they're connected. Okay. I can appreciate a different environment. Yeah, me too. Me too. You're welcome, Rhonda. Thank you for being here. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, everybody. Last question. Autumn Guild says, I'm sorry if it's a little late, but could the brother energy be my brother-in-law? He's quite a bit older than me. Yes, it could very well be. It could be brother-in-law. It could be uncle. It could be her brother, your brother. But it's an older man for sure. Okay. And so there's something here again that we need to forgive and make peace with. This is a source of pain. Okay. And your mom is encouraging you to deal with this and to really, make peace with this and let this go, because it's something you're carrying forward energetically. Okay. And so she's facilitating that. Again, come and book your reading with me and let's get into it. Let's go deep into what the messages are, so I can be of service to you in this way, and we can honor your relationship with your mom in the way that it deserves to be. Okay. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you, everybody. I don't know where the time goes. It's already 12 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, for joining me live on this new time. I appreciate everyone who jumped on spontaneously. For those of you that got your questions answered, thank you for contributing to our conversation today, to contributing to our community, and to this live stream. For those of you that had readings, you can go back and rewatch those certain portions. You can always, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment at the end of this video as well. I'm really excited to announce my school platform. It's a community membership that I've created where we can meet on screen and participate in classes and workshops and monthly circles. So the link for the school community is right there. It's the Inner Oracle community on school. And we have a live psychic gallery event that happens every second Sunday of the month. So every second Sunday for 2 hours, we're on screen together, and I do some live channeling. I do collective readings, and then everybody gets an individual message. So I love the psychic gallery events. They're so fun, and people are having so many breakthroughs. And of course, it's a beautiful to heal in community. This is so healing for us to be able to heal alongside other people that are always going through similar things. Okay. So we also have a monthly mediumship events as well for those of you that want messages from your loved ones. Again, this is in a community environment. And there's also workshops and ad-free meditations and other content in the school community as well. So join here. And again, if you want to come in and jump into a reading, if you don't want to wait for Wednesday for Oracle Hour at 5 p.m. Pacific, and you want a one-on-one with me and do a deeper dive, Barbara's going to put the link for readings. There's the readings with Sabrina link. I would look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the weekend, everybody. Enjoy this amazing solar eclipse energy. And thank you so much, Vicky. It's good to see you. Sending you so much love. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. I will see you all Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Oh, my love.